Do I really need to say anything else? Hey everybody, and welcome to Finish Friday, the show where we help more creative people change more lives. I am Todd B from Tennessee, your host. I got really aggressive with that. And I created this show because on a scale of 1 to getting out of the shower in the winter, creating stuff is hard, and finishing those things is often even harder. Yes, I'm still tripping about Lady Gaga. So for those of you who didn't see it or don't follow me on Twitter, honestly, Twitter is such a fire hose now that who knows whether you saw it or not, but I'll pop some tweets up so you can see what was going on. I went a little nutty about Lady Gaga over the Super Bowl halftime show. I know that was a week ago. It's infinite years old in the internet age, right? But I'm so impressed by the fact that no matter what has happened to her and in her life and all these different things, she comes through with her music. She comes through with her art every time. She doesn't feel the need to make a huge, bold political statement because her music speaks for itself. She didn't have to say anything extra. It's all said right there. So mad love to Lady Gaga. And I do have a topic of the day though, so let's get into that right now. Today's topic is about why nobody cares what you are doing. And I know, like that sounds like a really like downer to start the show off with, right? But here's the thing, you guys. A long time ago, when I was getting started with my writing and I was blogging or whatever, and I was trying to get some traction, someone told me the 6 most liberating words I have ever heard. Nobody cares what you are doing. Nobody cares what you are doing. And instead of that being a box, or instead of that allowing me to like jump back into my cage and be afraid of that, I then realized at that moment, oh my gosh, I can do anything I want to. I can do anything I want. Like, I can develop my voice. I can write without fear. I can create without fear because I know nobody cares what I am doing. If you're watching this show right now and nobody cares what you're doing, it's an opportunity, not a problem. Obscurity is there for a reason. Life doesn't let you just wake up and magically be famous for a reason. You have to work your way there because you have to build up the strength that it takes to get to that level. Look, right now, some of you guys saw it. I have a post on Medium. Again, one of my top posts that's getting destroyed in the comments because some people don't like the way it was said or they get offended by it. I have tons of people just like blasting me over and over because I'm at the phase right now where people do care what I say and they do take weight to my words. But I remember when I was getting started, if you're watching this right now and you're getting started, nobody cares what you're doing, and that's amazing. What that allows you to do is then build your own voice. You now have the chance to create your own style. And I know that it doesn't feel good. If you'd have told me back in the day that it would take 8 years of consistent writing before I would even get a book published, I would have been so mad at you. I would have kicked you in the face. But like, the thing is, whenever you're obscure, you get the chance to grow. You get the chance to develop. And so next time you publish that thing and nobody listens to it, I need you to see that as an opportunity. Thank you. Thank you for another chance to show up and do the work. Thank you for another chance to show up and do my art. I've said this on the show before. If you're in this for the recognition, you're in the wrong game. Because art is a thankless job to the end. So until you get to that point where everybody wants to see your work, where everybody wants to hear what you're doing next, where everybody wants to watch what you do on YouTube or whatever, right? I need you to embrace the obscurity. Nobody cares what you're doing, and that gives you complete freedom. With that, let's get into today's question of the week. This week's question of the week, as always, is sponsored by my book, The Creative's Curse. I don't know if you saw this earlier in the week. I put up a new YouTube video with an audio excerpt from that book. I'm going to pop it in right now. Throughout history, creative people have been underpaid. Just because there's more excess in the world than ever before, and you read a blog post about making income online that lasts forever, does not mean you are entitled to or should expect to support your life on your art alone. Yeah, so go pick that up. It's under $6. It's a great read. I know that you'll be valuable with this. Like, the information in there changed my life. I'm not going to be shy about that. I had to accept my creative discovery. I had to figure out I was good at something. I had to find the discipline to carry that out. And then I embraced my destiny as an artist. And that's the framework of the book. Those are the 3 things that changed my life. I know the book will change your life, which is why I have no shame telling you about it every single week. This week's question comes from Just Good Vids on YouTube. I don't know why I laugh. It's not that funny of a name. If a certain thing you do gets traction, should you change your plans to meet the demand? Okay. Now, there are 2 options that you could mean by this, but I'm going to cover both sides because I think I can offer insight both ways. So option 1 is if you're saying you see something in the marketplace that may not be exactly what you want to do, but you're doing it a little bit and watching it get traction, should you do that? The answer to that is it depends on your business situation, right? If you need money and you have a skill set that the market wants, and you can sell that thing or freelance that thing or work full time over there, I would absolutely do that, right? I would absolutely do that. But you always have to be balancing it with what kind of life do you want to live? Like, think about that for a second, because I went a long time without ever asking that question. I was just like, ooh, I need to make money, need to make money, need to make money, need to make money, need to make money. And then I looked up and I was like, what am I doing? Like, where am I? What do I care about? What do I like? I literally was at a place in my life where if you asked me what I liked, I would have not been able to tell you. And that was kind of a dark place, right? So it's the balance between, do you need money? If yes, do the thing. And then balance that with the life you want to live. You can't forget about this over here because it's who you are. You have to embrace that. You have to act on that. You have to start to put that into the world. The second option you might be talking about here is if you're saying, okay, I'm doing my art. I'm a musician. Let's pretend you're a musician. I'm doing my art. I wrote this song I wasn't crazy about, but everyone loves it. And that's a very real situation. Like, how many times do we see that with bands who hate their biggest hit, but everyone is just nuts about it. They're crazy about it. And I wish I could think of an example. All I can think of is Chris Rice, the Christian artist who had a song called The Cartoon Song, and everybody loved that song, and he was like, I wish I'd never written that song. But maybe you're talking about that, right? So is it fans are liking this thing that I did, even though maybe I don't like it so much? And again, it's a balance. Everything on this show is a balance. I've talked before about writing the morning routine articles, even though I'm not necessarily passionate about that, because I want to cast my net wide and then bring people into what I'm really about. The only thought I have behind that is that, yeah, find that balance, right? If it's gaining traction, that means it's working and it's helping to pull more people into your art. I would no way discard that completely. If I decided I only wanted to write about art all the time, 24/7, I would be in a very, very narrow niche, which is fine, but I have bigger goals than that. I have bigger ideals than that. And it's not about who I am as a person, right? I don't only think about art. I think about life and death and tragedy and comedy. So I try to write about all those things. So if you find something that your people are liking, your audience, as small as it is, if they're liking what's coming out of you, I think you have the obligation to follow up on that and give them more of that, even if it's not 100% your deepest, most vivid passion, right? I think you have to give the audience a little bit of what they want in order to grow as an artist and grow as a person. And so those are the 2 options right there. Hopefully you were talking about one of those 2 things. If not, comment down below. I've seen you week after week, so I would love to hear your further thoughts on that. So without further ado, let's get into the Artist Spotlight. Today's Artist Spotlight goes on Nelson over at Arctic Empire. Now you guys, I revealed something that I don't know, I'm not really embarrassed about it, but it's just something that people don't say out loud, which is that I'm in love with chill step, with dubstep, electronic music. I know I'm supposed to have been the intellectual writer guy, but I love it. Love it, love it. And one of the guys I love the most is Nelson over at Arctic Empire. And he has the huge playlist that I linked last week. I will obviously link it up again because it's a staple to my creative process. But this is a little interesting artist spotlight because it's a little bit different than what it normally is. Usually I focus on one person who has created their own art and then chose themselves and then built up and built up and built up, and then finally the world found out what they were doing. But now someone about things a little differently. He loved music, right? I know he does that because he says that he still produces stuff, but that's not where his momentum comes from. His momentum comes from connecting these other artists with, and so if you go to his page right now, you'll see what I'm talking about. Maybe I'll put something up on the screen, but he's got a song with a graphic, a big piece of art, and they're not related, but what he did was pull things from over here and pull things from over here and pull things from over here, and he curated them. He put them together in something that now, let's see, 285,000 people show up to see every week. And so maybe you're not the go all in on one thing artist. Maybe you are a curator, right? Maybe you connect things. Maybe you mix art and music. Maybe you combine e-learning and graphic design. I don't know. But there's a way to succeed even if you don't want to just be a pianist or just be a violin player or just be a fiction writer. Maybe you're some of everything. You are probably more than one thing, and you know what? That's okay. What's not okay is ignoring all those things. What is okay is seeing if you can find a life that combines everything that you love. Because if you're not having fun and you're not loving your life and you're not enjoying what you do on a day-to-day basis, it gets really tough to keep going. So shout out to Nelson at Arctic Empire for giving us all good stuff every week and combining different elements to make something the world has never really seen. Great show. Man, thank you guys so much for showing again. Ask the audience. I'm getting in serious here. I hope that this starts a flame war because it's a touchy topic, right? Ask the audience. Creamy peanut butter or crunchy? Leave your comments down below and please fervently defend your point. I'm a crunchy guy myself, of course. You knew that if you follow me for more than a few seconds on Twitter because I talk about it all the time. But I want to know what you think. Again, I'm Todd B from Tennessee. Thank you for showing up this Friday, and I will talk with you soon.